Ah, the great outdoors. Crisp mountain air filling your lungs. Wide open skies stretching farther than the eye can see. And, best of all, the perfect excuse to ignore your email, your phone, and just about everything else for 24 glorious hours. Welcome to my second solo camping adventure, this time near the San Pedro Park's wilderness in New Mexico. A place where rolling meadows meet dense forest, and the silence is only broken by the occasional coyote howl or the whisper of the wind through the trees. Join me as I hike, explore, and camp alone in this beautiful place. From rugged roads to cozy campfires, it's all part of the adventure. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this solo camp video, your front row ticket to the wild. Awesome! Good howdy, folks. I'm James Blackburn, filmmaker, actor, and adventure seeker. I live in the American Southwest, and I'm surrounded by breathtaking landscapes and endless possibilities. My passion? Capturing life's beauty through lens and screen. From Red Rock Canyons to Hollywood movie sets, I'm always on the move. Join me on my video adventures as I navigate the wilds of the entertainment industry and the great outdoors. Let's explore together. Awesome! March 1st, 2025. I set off from Albuquerque. Fueled by a sense of adventure, the adventure really began at the moment that I pointed my vehicle north on Highway 550. It's about a 90-mile drive to Cuba, New Mexico, but it feels like traveling through a time-lapse of landscapes, leaving the city behind, while mesas and wide-open desert plains start to dominate the horizon. The road stretches out like a ribbon across the earth, and every few miles the scenery shifts just enough to keep your eyes glued to the window. You get these long, open stretches where it's just you, the sky, and the road. The traffic thins out, the pace slows down, and you realize how big and wild New Mexico really is. Up next comes Forest Road 70. At first, it lured me in with smooth dirt, almost too easy, like the calm before the storm. But that didn't last long. The smooth dirt gave way to more dirt and gravel, and soon a cloud of dust rose behind me, following like a loyal companion I didn't ask for. The next 4.5 miles were slow, rugged, and loud. The crunch of tires over rock echoed through the forest, mixing with the occasional rattle of gear in the back of the truck. The deeper I went, the quieter it became. Cell service disappeared. The sounds of civilization vanished. Finally, after weaving through the trees and scanning every pull-off like a treasure map, I found it. A campsite, quiet, tucked neatly into the tall pines, where the air was heavy with that unmistakable pine scent. The kind of smell that makes you breathe deeper without even realizing it. The wind brushed softly through the branches above, creating a low, natural hum that made the whole place feel alive. Alright folks, after a few miles of driving down the dirt road, I finally got to a spot that I really like. And there's some snow here, which is great because I did want a winter camp. I don't think anybody else is going to be out here tonight. So this is going to be great. I'm going to have a whole wilderness all to myself. Alright, there's the truck. This was the first spot that I kind of thought would be nice. As you can tell, the snow is really spotty. We did not get a ton of it this year. So any place in the shade has snow. Any place in the sun does not. But this is a sweet spot right here. You can see it's got a good view. It's already got a nice fire pit. Look at that. It's like the perfect camp spot. All right, back to the truck. And like I said, I wanted some snow in the shot, but you guys have seen the snow. You know it's winter up here. There's snow on the ground. Got the truck all parked here. So I'm going to stay up here somewhere. I just like this spot. It's level. There is some snow nearby. And then the campsite right here with the fire pit. Look at that beauty. And even though I have a wood stove for my tent, I am going to sit outside tonight and enjoy this view and have a campfire and a camp ring. This is breathtaking, absolutely outstanding. And another thing I really like about it is this is a secondary road off the main road.
don't know if you can see it, but the main road is right down there. It goes down over there, you can kind of see it, and then back over that way. But right down over here somewhere is a turn off the main road that came back here to where I'm at now. And that was a good find, because I mean, this spot is outstanding. I almost think I might come back to this one again in the future. But okay, what do you say we get setting up the truck here, or getting the truck emptied out, I mean, and taking care of business every day. All right, folks, so on the inside here, I have a big tarp. There's a reason for that, because driving down these dusty roads, back of the truck will get dusty, as well as your gear. So under the tarp, I have totes and dry sacks and everything else that you might need for camping. So we're gonna get all this stuff unloaded here and start getting it sorted, and here in a little bit, we'll start getting the gear set up. Please stay tuned. All right, got the truck pretty empty. This stays in here, it's charging, ready to go in case I get a dead battery. I can jump myself. Waters will stay in here because it's in the shade, but I got all the gear out right here, and gonna start going through stuff and thinking about getting set up here. While it's still early in the day, you can see I got a table over there. That'll have a tablecloth on it here in a little bit, and some, you know, kitchen sort of items will go on there. And yeah, so here we are. All right, table set up with a tablecloth on it, or in this case, it's a rug that I use for that. Got all my food and first aid items here, as well as a garbage can. And now we're gonna go over here. I hung up a thermometer on the tree in the shade. We're gonna get a true reading of what temperature it is out right now. So there you go. 56 degrees currently. Feels pretty good, actually. It's a good temperature for working. As you can see, there's definitely cold enough to be enough snow up here at night, although this stuff's melting off pretty quickly, but it's going to be here for a few more weeks, I'm sure, before it's all gone. I think maybe it's time now for some lunch, some liquids, a little breakage, and then tent and wood stove will be next.
It was perfect, peaceful, almost too peaceful. You know, the kind of spot that feels so secluded you can't decide if you've just discovered paradise or the opening scene of a low-budget horror movie. Either way, it was my piece of real estate for the night, and I was going to enjoy every moment. Areas near the San Pedro Park's wilderness isn't all about sheer cliffs and dizzying ledges. It's about rolling meadows where the grass whispers in the breeze, and forests so thick they dampen every footstep. A hidden gem of the Santa Fe National Forest. At 10,000 feet, it's literally breathtaking.
Good howdy, folks. Welcome to San Pedro Park's wilderness. I might not be in the boundary, but I'm very, very close to it. What do I have with me, you ask? Well, this is a hot tent. Brand new. Took it out at home once to kind of check it out, make sure all the parts were there, and I'm going to set it up. It's my first hot tent experience. So I'm going to set it up around in here, and we'll get this thing set up first, and then I'll introduce you to the wood stove that I got as well. Now, if you're wondering where I got these things, well, a lot of people think this is a dirty word. I don't personally. I think it's okay. Temu. I bought this tent for $109 on Temu. And here in a little bit, I'll show you the wood stove. That cost $97. Neither one of them are top of the line, the best gear out there. But from what I understand, I saw somebody else online that has the same tent and the same wood stove, and they gave it a pretty high rating considering how little it costs to buy these things. So here in just a minute, we're gonna set up on some time lapse of the tent.
Of course, no solo winter camping trip is complete without testing out some new gear.
But yeah, this is the tent. It actually was a pretty easy setup. There's a hole right there. There's a piece that will go on that for the wood stove here in a little bit. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take a look inside.
I brought along my new hot tent, designed for cold weather camping with a wood stove inside. The first setup, well, let's just say there was a learning curve. Poles needed a little convincing, stakes had a mind of their own, and I spent a few minutes puzzling over the instructions like it was a 3D jigsaw puzzle. But once everything clicked into place, the tent stood tall and sturdy, a little fortress against the chill.
All right, folks, this is the inside of the tent once it's set up. You can see it has no floor. That's an option that you have in here to camp without a floor if you want. However, it comes with a floor, and I'll attach that inside here in just a few minutes. But yeah, looks pretty comfortable and nice. Pretty excited about getting to stay in here for the night. Pretty happy with it so far. Okay, this is what the tarp looks like rolled up for the floor. But when you unfold it, you'll see it's two different colors. This is Blackburn for sleeping on. This is for the wood stove. It's some sort of fire-proof material that the wood stove sits on top of. So we're gonna put this inside and see how it goes.
I was impressed. For a first-time setup, it was intuitive, the material felt solid, and the design was thoughtful. Easy to assemble, even solo, and definitely capable of keeping me warm throughout the long winter night.
All right, here's with the floor all hooked into place. Looking good. The tent's a little smaller than I imagined, but it's still pretty decent size. It's gonna get a lot smaller when the wood stove goes in here, but yeah, I do like the fact that there's a cool vent over here, but you can also close that flap down if you need to. On the other side, no vent, but that's fine. Each end has a door, which is kind of cool. So we're gonna get that one open up too and start getting some air going through here. But yeah, all in all, I'm pretty happy with the purchase so far. It's a cool little tent. All right, folks, I'm gonna introduce you to the wood stove. It's in this cardboard box, which is padded with foam. That's why I left it in here. I thought this would transport it nicer than just letting it lay out in the back of the truck. But it's got some nifty instructions with it. Kind of shows you how to set it up. It's got this grate here, which is going to go inside. This thing on the bottom is the piece of glass that will go in the front door. And then you have the wood stove itself. This little piece here in the middle is the round thing in here that goes in this hole. And then the wood stove itself, let's take it out and give you a quick look at it. All right, so it has legs on the bottom down here that do stand up to make it a little higher off the ground. You can see the front door here and the vent and the other side. Everything for the pipes and everything are on the inside right now. They're all packed in here behind this foam. So I'll get all that set up here in a little bit. Also has these handy dandy little shelves on the side, which is kind of neat. So when I get this a little closer being set up, I'll show you what it looks like with the feet extended and stuff. But I think it's a pretty good looking little wood stove for $97. It's not huge and I won't burn anything big in it, but I think it'll do the job. All right, still need to get the rest of the pipe up and through the hole, and that's coming really soon. I have to cut a hole in the fire thing that goes on the top. It doesn't come with that, so that's the next project coming up for that. All right, this is the piece that goes in the hole that the stove pipe goes through. So what I'm going to do is take this pipe, I'm going to put it about dead center. From what I saw online, that's about the right thing to do, and then we're going to draw a circle around it, and then we'll make the circle just a tad smaller when we cut it, so the pipe goes in there nice and tight and we don't get any leakage. So there you go, nice little circle on there. We're ready to start cutting. All right, folks, I think the tent is 100% set up and the wood stove as well. Let's go take a quick look inside. I have to get all my sleeping gear and stuff in here still, but that's coming soon. Stove looks really nice back there. And then here on the top, you'll see where the stove pipe came out, where I cut a hole in the thing for the pipe to go through. And I did read online that they said a spark arrestor is a good thing if you have a spark pop out. So I made a homemade spark arrestor here with an old strainer from the kitchen that I wasn't using anymore that was pretty much trashed. So I made this out of it. That should keep the sparks from getting out too far and just let smoke through. So yeah, pretty excited about it. Let's step back and take another quick look here. The whole setup. Yeah, that's sweet. That is a sweet setup right there.
By the time I had the stove set up inside, I realized that the hot tent wasn't just a piece of equipment. It was a reliable companion for the adventure ahead. The walls should hold the heat in beautifully, and the simple setup left me with more time to enjoy the wilderness instead of wrestling with fabric and poles.
All right, so now I have the tent, the bedding set up, the wood stove set up, everything in there is ready to go. I'm gonna get on my my trusty work gloves here, and it's time to wander around and find some firewood. Now I need 2 piles of firewood that are different from one another. One's gonna be for the campfire pit back here because I do want to experience that tonight, so I can have a little bit bigger logs out there. And the other pile of wood's gonna be just for the wood stove, so it's gonna be little short, thinner sort of twigs, smaller branches, and I'll make that pile inside the tent. The other pile will be back here by the fire pit. So let's do it.
All right, folks, it's a little later in the day. I've been out gathering firewood for a while. I think I got enough to get me through the night. It's still beautiful out. It has dropped down from 56 degrees to 51, but I haven't noticed it because I've been so active that I'm actually a little bit hot. But yeah, almost ready to go. Why don't we go over and take a look at the piles of wood that I got. All right, here's the fire pit that was already here. It's a pretty good pit. I've already got it stocked up down there ready to go. And I got a pile of wood over here that I'm gonna saw through some of these bigger ones, and then I'll have a bunch of logs for tonight to last me as long as I want, pretty much. I know it's not a huge pile, but I cut those things in half. They're gonna be big logs. Oh, here's another. Here's a bonus log. So yeah, that's what I have for over here. I'm not planning a super long campfire tonight at this spot, but enough to enjoy just being outdoors. And you know, camping for me means campfire. I really prefer a campfire experience when I'm out here. Okay, over to the tent. All right, let's go inside. You can see I got my bedding on the left all ready to go. Over here I have a tote that I'm using as a table, my backpack full of things that I need while I'm in here, and then my pile of wood near my wood stove. Now I'll probably scoot that a little bit further away once I get a fire going in there, but that's plenty of wood. That should get me through the whole night without any issues. And once I fall asleep, the thing's gonna burn out anyway, so.
Camping solo is a unique kind of adventure. There's a rhythm to it. Waking up to the quiet, moving through the forest with only your own footsteps and thoughts for company. Every decision is yours. When to hike, when to rest, when to light a fire. At first, the solitude can feel a little intense. You notice every sound, the crack of a branch, the rustle of an animal, the whisper of the wind through the trees. But over time, it becomes meditative. You learn to read the landscape, to anticipate the weather, to enjoy the small victories, like a campfire that finally catches, or a hot meal in the cold. Being alone near a place like San Pedro Park's wilderness also brings a sense of freedom. No schedules, no distractions, just you, the forest, and the endless sky above. By the end of the day, I realized that solo camping isn't just about survival or adventure. It's about connecting with nature and somehow connecting with yourself. All right, folks, fast forward to about 4:30 in the afternoon, and we've dropped down from 56 earlier to 49 now. It's definitely getting a little later in the day. You can see the sun is a little bit lower in the sky. Pretty soon, sun will be setting, probably within the next hour. See the long shadows going on here. I'm glad I got everything prepped and set up and ready to go. I just got to get the campfire going and the wood stove fire going at some point to make sure that I do proper winter camping out here, because it's 49 at 4:30. It's probably going to drop down in the 20s, maybe even the teens tonight, so it's going to be chilly. I got to be ready for that. All right, earlier when I was up at camp just kind of relaxing and chilling out, I did see a truck go by finally on the road. It was a red pickup truck, and that's the only vehicle I've seen out here all day. I've been out here since about 11 a.m. It's about 4:30 now, and one vehicle went by. I don't know if they're heading back to camp or if they're just doing a day trip or a loop. I haven't seen them come back, so I'm still out here alone at the moment.
All right, out here soaking up the last rays of the sunshine while it's still got a little bit of warmth left. It's starting to get cold. The wind is definitely getting chilled.
Definitely a classic New Mexico blue skies out here right now. This is awesome. Look how beautiful that is. And these pine trees are big. Look at this thing. It's going up and up and up and up. So it's a nice spot to camp for the night. And I'm really looking forward to getting that wood stove going in the tent later. I think that's going to be a really cool part of the experience. So okay, it's almost 5 o'clock now, so it's dipped down to 48. I know when the sun goes down, this temperature is going to drop too. But I feel like I don't want to start that wood stove till I'm ready to get in the tent, because I want to enjoy some time by the campfire for a while. And then when I get in here, I'll work on getting that going, and we'll see how it goes. I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. I tell you, I think this is going to be comfy and cozy tonight. Of course, no camping trip is complete without a campfire. Getting my campfire started, a true test of patience. Damp wood hissed, matches fizzled, and I crouched there, squinting through the smoke, wondering if the survival shows had lied to me. Finally, blaze. The fire snapped to life with a pop and crackle, the smell of wood smoke curling into the cold air. The heat rolled outward, warm against my face, while the mountain air nipped at my back. All right, that red truck that came in a few hours ago is heading out over there on the road. So I am literally out here alone now. I don't think there's anybody else camping out here right now, and I got the forest to myself, which is exciting and fun and a little intimidating and scary. because you're really dependent on yourself out here right now when you're the only person out here. Now, originally I had planned on camping with friends. Unfortunately, they had to cancel. And it's understandable, things come up and happen. I really wanted to go, so I decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and solo camp it and make it my official second solo camp of my life. First one was last year in September up in the Jemez Mountains, and that was pretty awesome. And this one's also turned out to be really cool. And later, when it gets really cold out, I'll be in that tent with that wood stove going, and boy, is that going to feel nice. And you can see my truck is parked pretty close by. That's a little safety net, being able to car camp and be, able to have your vehicle nearby just in case, for whatever reason, you need to leave quickly. Pine cone fell out of the tree just now. I thought maybe a squirrel did it, but I think the pine cone just fell out of the tree on its own. It was a weird noise up above, like a little pop or a click, and then hit the ground. I saw it. That was pretty cool. It might have even showed up on camera. So nature is happening all around me. I hear bird calls. Sun's getting ready to set. You really can't go wrong. This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, fast forward to 5:30 p.m. now, and you can see the sun is definitely setting behind the mountain. In a few minutes, we'll be in no sun, and then the temperature is really going to drop. So speaking of temperature, what is it right now? It's down to 45, which is still very nice out, but it's only 5:30, so the prediction on the forecast said a low of 19 here tonight. That's probably going to happen. But I'm ready. I got a nice campfire stocked over here and going. And here in a little bit, when it gets dark out and starts to get cold, I'll crawl into this tent and get something going in that wood stove. All right, folks. It's about 45 minutes after sunset, and I've been sitting here and relaxing for a little while. And down behind me, the mountain goes down quite a ways to like a creek. So there's kind of a canyon-ish sort of shape there. And I heard a pack of coyotes. They were hooping and hollering down there. I think they were on the hunt. So it's just a quick reminder to me that I'm not here really alone. There may be no people nearby, but there's critters that still live out here. So I made sure I packed away all the food properly into the truck. Don't want it anywhere near my tent. And this thing is dying out. I got to get it going again. This little fire blowing stick that I got, really awesome. Helps you get right down to the root of the fire where all the hot coals are at without having to get your face too close and get all burned up, So here we go.
almost headlamp time.
Sparks floated forward like fireflies, disappearing into the dark sky. I stayed by the fire for hours, listening to its rhythm, letting it warm not just my hands, but my spirit. When night fell, the sky opened up. No glow of city lights, just endless stars. Coyotes howled in the distance. An elk bugled far off. And the silence between those sounds was almost louder than the noise. I soaked it all in. The day was sunny and cool, hovering around 56 degrees Fahrenheit. The night dropped down just below freezing, the kind of cold that makes your breath hang in the air. Perfect for firing up my wood stove and bundling into a sleeping bag, and occasionally questioning my life choices. It's cold out here. What was I thinking? I could be at home sleeping in total comfort. Well, for me personally, I love a good challenge, and sleeping out in the wilderness is worth it every time, even when it's cold.
Boy, it looks cozy and comfy in there with the light on here when it's getting dark. I'm not quite ready to go in yet, but when I do, it'll be a test run of the wood stove for the first time. So I'm expecting there to be some smoke in the tent for a little bit before I get it dialed in, but I think I'm ready to get it going once I get in there.
All right, folks, we fast forward now to 6:45 p.m. It has dropped down to 35 out here, where it was a high of 56 earlier, so we've lost 21 degrees, and it's not even 7 o'clock yet. So yeah, it's going to get cold tonight. But here in a little bit, I am going to head in the tent and get that wood stove going. But for now, I am just hanging out here by this fire, and I'm going to stay out here till this burns down because I'm really enjoying it, and I want to make sure that it's safe before I step away from it too. I'm definitely tired after all the work of getting here today and setting up and the wood gathering, and you know, this is the oldest I've ever been. I'm still getting used to it. But look how cozy and nice that looks in there. Can't wait to get in there in a little bit, get that wood stove going and see what temperature we can get inside the tent, because it's 35 out here right now and it's going to get colder. But I guess we'll find out here in a little bit. All right, folks, I did not show me starting the fire because it was a lot of work to get this thing going. As you can see, looks like it's officially cooking pretty good. I got the fan on top up here that's heat activated, so it's working. The smoke that was in here is starting to blow out finally. And then let's go outside and take a look at the piping. It's hard to see, but there is smoke coming out of that pretty good. Since this is the maiden voyage, I'm keeping them pretty small. I'm not letting a big fire get going in there. But I do want it to become an official fire, and it's struggling still a little bit right now, so let's see what else we can do to help it.
First attempt, smoke. Second attempt, more smoke. Plus some muttering that thankfully no one heard. Third try, success. The stove glowed red, pine logs humming as they burned. The sharp scent of resin filled the tent. Slowly the icy air gave way to the cozy warmth.
All right, everything seems to be working. It's still a little smoky in here, but most of it's blown out. It was really bad when the fire first started, but now seems like it's okay. We'll keep feeding it some tiny little things here. Keep it alive. I have the screen open on the other end. The door's open down here, and then the screen down here is completely open as well. So I'm making sure that I'm trying to not do anything that's going to harm me, and have my carbon monoxide detector right here
I tested it earlier, it works, and it has not gone off yet, so we're in good shape. This little fan up here rules because it's heat activated, and I can feel it blowing the heat this direction. I bet it's way warmer in here now, even with the doors open at both ends, than it is outside at the moment. Okay, so at 7:30, it's saying 33 degrees outside, so that's 1 degree above freezing. So it is going to dip down tonight. We are going to go here into the tent though, and bring the thermometer in there and just see, you know, what the temperature difference is. Wood stove seems to be working great. It's drawing all the smoke out of the pipe like it's supposed to. I'm loving it. I tell you what, man, you open that door to put more wood in, and the smoke pours out. So I had to get outside for a second to get some air. It clears out pretty quick though, especially with that fan on, but man, whew. All right, so the thermometer there on the sleeping bag is reading 41, I think. So it's 33 outside, 41 in here. The wood stove's not quite cranking yet, so I bet we can get it up to 50 or 60 in here easily by the time we get that thing fully established. I don't remember what YouTube video I saw that mentioned these heat activated fans, but this thing is awesome. As soon as the stove got heated up, it just started blowing the hot air down this direction, and anytime there's a little bit of smoke when you open the door, it helps blow that out really quickly too. So I'm definitely recommending, if you're going to do this kind of camping, get yourself a little fan like that, because it's really, really awesome. Here you can see a stove thermometer, and we're running about 500 degrees, which says optimum performance. So we're not even close to overheating because I'm keeping it small. That came with it, so it's an awesome little idea. So we're about 42 degrees in here. Last time I checked it was 33 outside, but that was a while ago, so it's probably a little chillier than that. So we're a good 10 degrees warmer in here right now, and the stove is it's doing a good job. I will say there is one thing that I wish I had, and that is like a little basket or a bin that just the wood can go in, because this is all over the floor. I made a pretty big mess in here. I'm gonna have to do some cleaning tomorrow to get this back into shape. But if I bought some sort of bin the wood could go inside of, and it would keep it tidier and cleaner in here for sure. So yeah, that's an idea for the future. All right, we're officially up to 51 in here. It's actually comfortable. I'm really feeling like I had to shed a layer already. I had to take my hat off. This little thing is doing a really good job. You know, the fan and the heater together. And if you're wondering why it's red underneath, it's not the fire. I put a red light down there just to kind of enhance the background. As you can see, the red light shining up there too. So yeah, it's working. It's working really good. It's very comfortable in here. The smoke is venting out properly, and I just feed a log in there every once in a great while, and it just keeps going. All right, folks. It's going on about 9 o'clock, I think. I've been in here with the stove going for probably 90 minutes, almost 2 hours maybe. Took a little while to get it going. There was a lot of smoke at first, of course, but once it got established, it's been working pretty good. And I checked the temperature outside. It's 30 degrees outside, and in here it's gotten up to as high as 60, which is really cool. I mean, not cool, but that's pretty awesome that it's double the temperature that it is outside. I don't know why the glass turned black. It's hard to see in there now. Must be just because of all the smoke when I was just getting it going. Probably just needs to be cleaned off tomorrow. But yeah, it's working good. All right. I've been asleep for a few hours. I think maybe 3 hours maybe. Whew. I'm a little clogged up. Coughing a little bit from
just being around all the smoke. It says it's 37 degrees inside the tent. So my body heat's keeping it a little bit warmer than it is outside, because I'm assuming still around 30 out there, maybe a little bit colder. But yeah, I'm going to get back in this sleeping bag and snuggle down and try to get some more sleep. The wood stove is definitely out cold. I touched it and it's just as cold as it is in here. So the wood stove burned out sometime when I was snoozing, and it's too cold to get going again right now, and I'm not concerned about it. Maybe in the morning we'll try this again. All right, good morning, folks. It's the next day. It's about 6:30 in the morning. Woke up to snow. Was not expecting that. It's coming down right now. Just a light dusting on the ground. But it's a big change from yesterday where this was all dirt and now it looks like snow again. I slept okay. I mean, I always toss and turn a little bit when I'm camping because I think I'm on alert and I'm just not getting full deep sleep. But all in all, I stayed warm in there. It was a good evening, and now I'm going to start packing up and get out of here before the snow gets worse, because the road coming in was sketchy, and I don't want it to get more sketchy before I get out. So yeah, start packing up here in a few minutes. Normally when I'm camping, I take a lot of extra time to pack everything up properly so that when I get home, I don't have to do it. But with it snowing pretty good here, and I don't know when this is going to let up, I really need to get out on this dirt road before it gets even worse. So all this gear, it looks unorganized. I'm going to pull some of this out, and then I'm just going to stuff everything in here and then organize it when I get home, because I can't take the chance on this road getting worse. I mean, the snow's not bad yet, but you never know when you're in the mountains, and I'm up about 8,500 feet at least. You know, if the snow is going to take a turn and get worse, or if it's going to clear up. So I'm gonna start packing up stuff, and I'll worry about organizing it when I get home. All right, I was gonna stay this morning and have a morning campfire because I really love morning campfires. I was gonna have some biscuits and gravy, but with the weather changing like this, it's best. I know I keep saying it, but I need to pack up and get out of here before the road gets worse. And I'll have to worry about breakfast once I get back to town. Kind of like a frozen snow, frozen rain sort of deal. Well, it figures. As soon as I rush to pack up to get out of here, the snow is stopping and the sun's trying to peek through. So it's probably going to be a beautiful day up here. So I still got to get out of here because the roads are going to be sketchy, and right now they might be frozen. That may make it a little easier than trying to drive through some deep mud. So yeah, it's time to keep moving and get myself the heck out of here. Wow, what a difference an hour makes. When I got up, it was snowing, it was coming down pretty good, and now we're back to New Mexico blue skies, and the sun is out, it's shining, and it's starting to feel really decent out. It was about 30 degrees when I got out here at 6:30, and I'm not sure what temperature it is now, but it feels warmer, I guess, because I'm up and moving and I'm working. All right, the tent
is empty, except for some of the leftover firewood that I didn't use last night. I'll get that out of here in a few minutes. I gotta get this rug dusted off of the snow and get it hanging up to dry. And then hopefully the sun will melt off some of this frozen ice snow stuff here, because this stuff is on here pretty good. So we'll just shake her off, let the sun do its thing for a while I get the rest of the gear kind of cleaned up and organized. The tent will be the last thing that I put away, just because it's got moisture on it right now. So yeah. All right, I got the frozen snow / rain off the tent. It's still a little damp, so I'm gonna leave it set up here. I'm glad the sun's hitting most of it. And I'm getting the truck loaded and things are going good. It's a beautiful morning again already. Even though, you know, at 6:30 when I woke up, it was snowing, it turned into a really nice day. I bet it's gonna get up in the 50s again here today. Awesome. Yeah, it's been an hour and a half since I got up and it was snowing, and now it's a whole different world. I keep hearing birds. I think I hear a woodpecker somewhere nearby. And just a minute ago, I'm pretty sure I heard an elk bugling. So I'm out here in nature with nature, and it's awesome. I'm definitely hearing elk bugling. There were some back there and some over there. I wish I would see one or two or a herd. That would be really cool if they just kind of crossed through here. But you never know with critters if they're going to be here or not. It's funny, this morning when I got up at 6:30, 100% of the ground was covered in snow. And just in an hour and a half with the sun coming out, you can see a lot of it's melting off already. I mean, it was a dusting. It covered the ground. It wasn't like a whole inch of snow or anything, but yeah, it's warm enough out now that it's starting to melt off. It's 32 degrees Fahrenheit currently, but in the sun it feels warmer. I always think it's neat when you can see a mountaintop and there's clouds that are a little lower than it and they're blowing through. It's just beautiful. All right, before I rush out of here and head back to the town, since the day is improving weather-wise, I'm going to take a little walkabout here. I keep hearing elk bugling in every direction around me. And they sound like they're not too far away. So it'd be cool if I just happen to see some of them walking by. No guarantees. I have seen elk out in the wild many times, but you never know if you're going to see them when you're here at the moment. So I'm down the road over there where you can see the tent and the truck. And that ended up being a really good spot. Really enjoyed it. There was a nice fire pit there. You know, last night when it got dark, I shined my headlamp down here and there was something reflecting. And I was pretty sure it was a Forest Service sign or something. And sure enough, there it is. Let's see what it says. Seems like the road kind of ends here, and then it's walking only after this. Yep, there you go. No motorized vehicles beyond this point. Respect the resource. So there you go. Forest Service, Department of Agriculture. So they don't want you driving back here, which is understandable. That doesn't even look like you could get up that really safe. So walking, yes. Driving, no. But yeah, it's really, really pretty back here. It's kind of nice when you camp on a road that dead ends, because you know nobody's going to camp behind you. All right, folks. It's a good
time out here in the mountains. I wish I had another whole day and night to stay out here. It's Sunday, so unfortunately I don't, but next time I'll come out for a couple days and do this. It was totally worth all the effort and time and the work to do all this. Never hurts to get on a little walkabout. I'll tell you, when that sun goes away, though, you feel the cold up here. My fingertips are getting chilled. All right. Everything feels pretty solid under my feet. The ground feels pretty frozen. So we'll have to be careful going out to not slip and slide too much. But it'll also mean it'll be less muddy, which is also helpful. So, yeah. I say this in just about every camping video I do, but the campsite looks a lot more lonely without all the gear set up. It just doesn't feel the same. Still love it, still awesome, but when you got your shelter set up and you got a camp chair out, you're home. And now it's back to being woods again. Campfire was over there. It's a great spot for that. You can see it was a beautiful backdrop. Anyway, just the mountain over there. Yeah, this was cool. Really enjoyed this. All right, folks, I've been up for about 2 hours, and it is time to get in the truck and head out of here. Had a great time. Beautiful place. So happy I came and had this awesome experience. It was really, really cool. I look forward to doing another winter camp with a hot tent at some point in the future. So, yeah. So that's the mileage to get here, approximately 91.5. Could probably subtract a mile from that because I drove around up here once I got to the spot a little bit, but you're still looking at 90 miles ish to get to this spot from Albuquerque.
After a refreshing stay, I packed up my gear, erased every trace of camp, and rolled back towards civilization. As the forest faded behind me, I couldn't help but reflect on the time that I had spent here. It was truly a spiritual moment for me. One thing's for sure, solo camping near San Pedro Parks, 10 out of 10. And I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Out here, every challenge, whether it's setting up a hot tent for the first time, coaxing a stubborn campfire into life, or navigating rough mountain roads, comes with its own reward. The reward of silence, of self-reliance, of realizing that even when things get tough, you can figure them out. There's something deeply grounding about spending nights alone under the stars. The stillness makes every sound sharper, every flicker of the firelight brighter, and every breath of cool mountain air feels like a gift. Solo camping strips down things to the essentials. It's just you, your thoughts, and the wild world around you. And that's the wonder of it. No distractions, no noise from the outside world, just the reminder that nature has a way of recharging us in ways nothing else can. For me, that's what the James Blackburn experience is all about. Adventures, big and small, filled with both challenge and beauty. That reminds us to keep exploring, because the world is out there waiting. One trail, one campfire, one story at a time. Alright folks, I did it again. I did my second official solo camp. First one being last September up in the Gilman Tunnels in the Jemez Mountains. But this trip I really stepped it up a notch. First of all, I went out in winter, and that's always a risk because you don't know if you're going to get snowed in or not. I did not, thankfully. Second thing I did is I went to a place where there were no other campers last night. That's a big difference from the Gilman Tunnels where I had people mile away that were camping in RVs. So I never really felt alone on the Gilman Tunnels last September. Last night I felt alone up here.
There was one truck that came in after I was here, and then I saw them leave a few hours later, and I have not seen another single person up here this morning. So I literally camped in the middle of a wilderness completely alone with no other people nearby. So I'm a little proud of myself, I guess, because solo camping is kind of intimidating, can be a little scary, especially when you're out here alone and you hear coyotes nearby hunting. All right, folks, officially made it out of the wilderness area and back to the main highway, which is just up ahead. The turnoff for that camping spot that I found is approximately 4.2 miles from here. So when you turn off, I'll have to remember that. It's also only 1.5 miles past the parking lot for the San Gregorio Lake Trail. So I'll have to remember that spot. I'd like to come back here and bring some friends to that spot because it was just really, really nice. Okay, back to civilization.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this trip, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss another video adventure. Until next time, keep exploring and stay safe out there. Remember, folks, love, love, hate, hate. Take care of each other. Remember, folks, life is beautiful if you know where to look. So keep your mind, your eyes, and your heart open. It just might lead you somewhere special. Please check out my channel for over 1,000 additional video adventures. Thanks for watching.